Das Experiment, Chapter 4.21. In order to understand the true nature of a person, you need to set out on a journey with him or grant him authorization. Let's dig deeper into this proverb and try to understand how our ancestors may have come up with such a conclusion. For starters, what do we typically do on a journey? We travel together, eat together, and spend money together. I presume it's mostly the last one which would take us to the roots of this proverb. Money is the ultimate tool for survival in a modern society, unless you are living in a jungle or in a deserted island all by yourself. Therefore, monetary relationships would be the best means to see the true nature of a person when it comes to sharing. On the other hand, the authorization issue is situated a bit higher on Maslow's pyramid of needs, and it may relate to being able to do something. As an example, most of us may have come across a cockroach at some point during our lives, and most of us may have thought about crushing it instantly, just because we can. We wouldn't feel the same way if we came across a wolf or a bear because we can't, even if we wanted to. Das Experiment is a 2001 German thriller movie which is mostly about the authorization part of this exposition. It is based on a social experiment which is known as Stanford Prison Experiment, which was conducted at Stanford University in 1971 by Professor Philip Zimbardo. The experiment attempts to investigate the psychological effects of perceived power by focusing on the struggle between a group of prisoners and prison officers. You may keep on reading because I'm not going to be giving any spoilers about the movie in the following lines. Now here is the story with its broad strokes. While reading newspaper advertisements, taxi driver Tariq Fard notices an invitation to participate in an experiment in which 4,000 German marks are offered to each participant. The experiment is basically a simulation of a prison situation which takes place at a mock prison. Each one of 20 volunteers is declared either as a guard or as a prisoner, so that there would be 12 prisoners and 8 guards in total. Their behavior is constantly monitored by a team of scientists. In the experiment, the prisoners lose their civil rights and they must obey arbitrary rules without questioning, such as the obligation to completely finish their meals. Each guard is given a nightstick, but they are told not to be violent whatever the consequences might be. Each prisoner's name is taken away and replaced by a number. Although the experiment has been criticized for unscientific methodology, it is a true example of how quickly we can embrace our assigned roles in society and act accordingly. Another message in the film is that we act even more enthusiastically when we are observed by a superintendent and become more royalist than the king himself. Money and authority are two things that we will eventually leave behind when we die. Thus, maybe we should embrace life itself while we can.